Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to do a video on the Lesser Antilles Volcanic Arc. And for those who don't know, this is the Lesser Antilles Volcanic Arc. Our first volcano is Kikumjini. Which is here in this area. And this is an active submarine volcano or seamount on the Caribbean seafloor, located 8 kilometers north of the island of Grenada and about 8 kilometers west of Ronde Island in the Grenadines. Kikumjini rises 1,300 meters above the seafloor on the steep inner western slope of the Lesser Antilles Ridge. The North American tectonic plate is subducting the Caribbean tectonic plate to the east of this ridge and under the Lesser Antilles. The next one is Mount St. Catherine. Mount St. Catherine is a stratovolcano and the highest mountain on the Caribbean island of Grenada. It is located in St. Mark's, Victoria. It is the youngest of 5 volcanoes which comprise the island. The volcano has a horseshoe-shaped crater open to the east with several lava domes within it. There are 2 approaches to the top, both somewhat strenuous. The most maintained trail is from the eastern side, outside of Grenville. Tours from Victoria are also available, as are guides from Tufton Hall Waterfall, the largest waterfall on the island, halfway between Victoria and St. Catherine. It's the youngest of 5 volcanoes which comprise the island. And our next one is Septentrional Chain. The Septentrional Chain, northern chain of volcanoes at the northwest end of Basse Terre, consists of andesitic to dacitic lava domes and flows that were active from 3.5 to 1.2 million years ago. Our next one is Sufer Hills. Sufer Hills is an active, complex stratovolcano with many lava domes forming its summit on the Caribbean island of Montserrat. Many volcanoes in the Caribbean are named Sufer, French for sulfur outlet. These include La Sufer, or Sufer St. Vincent, on the island of St. Vincent, and La Grande Sufer on Guadeloupe. After a long period of dormancy, Sufer Hills volcano became active in 1995 and has continued to erupt ever since. Its eruptions have rendered more than half of Montserrat uninhabitable, destroying the capital city, Plymouth, and causing widespread evacuations. About 2/3 of the population have left the island. And we're going to see if we have any views on this one. And I don't see any for this island. We'll back out a little bit. There was one over here, I believe. We have one here. So we'll go here. Okay, so let's see, this is the area over here. And this area, this is Sufer Hills over here. What a gorgeous view. And moving on to the next one, which is Chance's Peak. And Chance's Peak is right next to it. Chance's Peak is a culminant point of the active complex stratovolcano named Sufer Hills. It is the highest point in Montserrat, a British overseas territory located in the Caribbean Sea. Chance's Peak is on a destructive plain margin. The volcano itself is in the middle Caribbean plate of the Caribbean plate, but this is because the North American plate and the Atlantic plate subducts beneath it, causing a buildup of pressure to form the volcano. On September 17, 1965, a Boeing 707 aircraft operated as Pan Am 292 flew into Chance's Peak near the summit and was destroyed, killing 30 people on board. Wow. Interesting history. The next one is Sufer Hills. Back out a little bit. And this is Sufer Hills here. Sufer Hills, the andesitic Sufer Hills lava dome complex was active about 0.95 to 0.55 million years ago. And we're going to see if we have any views here. We have one here, so we'll go to this end over here and get my little peg guy to get there. Here we go. We can see just how hilly this is. There's a path here. It gives you a good idea of the hills up here in this area. Our next one is Sufer Hills. Same island. We fixed the sound. Okay. There we go. This is a volcanic complex at the northern end of Montserrat that was active about 2.58 million years ago. And I thought maybe there might be an area that we could look here, but I don't see one. Wait, there is one here. Nope. Well, it's down on the beach area, so we'll just go see if we can go to the beach. So we can look back this way. Can't really see much that way. There we go. But we can see a beautiful ocean. Check out that view. That is gorgeous. And I think that's Rendezvous Beach. Rendezvous. Okay, our next one is Redonda. Redonda is the remnant of an active, ancient, extinct volcano. And not much more that I've been able to locate on it. The next one is Damas. This one is actually kind of dark, so I don't see a whole lot here. This is a stratovolcano, Damas Island, located in the Lesser Antilles island off the southeastern coast of Basse-Terre was active about 1.9 million to 0.6 million years ago. You can see we have some roads up here, so I don't know if we have any views up here. We have one over here, but I don't want to go in that area. So we're moving on to the next one, which is Nevis Peak. Nevis Peak is a stratovolcano, the conical island of Nevis, lying across a narrow channel from St. Kitts or St. Christopher Island, is a composite cone with overlapping summit craters. An unnamed lava dome is located northeast of the rims of the two craters. The high point of the island is located on the outer crater rim. The inner crater truncates the west rim of the earlier crater and is widely breached to the west side. A small lava dome was in place within the inner crater in recent pre-Columbian time. The pyroclastic flows and mud flows were deposited on the lower slopes of the cone. 4 lava domes were constructed on the flanks: Madden's Mount northeast flank, Butler's Mount east flank, Mount Lily northwest coast, and Saddle Mountain south coast. No historical eruptions are known, and the youngest dated eruption was 100,000 years ago. Active fumaroles and hot springs are found on the island. The most recent of these formed in 1953 and remains active. The seismic swarms have occurred on several occasions during the 20th century. So let's see if we have any views in this area here. You can see this is Nevis Peak here. It looks like we have views over here. So let's go see if we come over here, if we can see up that way. Maybe, maybe not. Looks like we're in a house. Oops. Okay, well, hey, that's pretty. Check out this. Beautiful flowers. Okay, backing out. That didn't work over too well, but hey. Let's see if we can find another view. We have one here. Let's go here. We'll go down here to this end area, so we can see right here. This is the Newcastle region. And our volcano would be back in this area. But can't see anything past this nice, beautiful backyard. Gorgeous. And moving on to the next one. Mount Liamuga. Check that out. That's a huge crater. Mount Liamuga is a 3,792-foot stratovolcano which forms the western part of the island of St. Kitts. The peak is the highest point on the island of St. Kitts in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis and in the entire British Leeward Islands, as well as the tallest peaks in the Eastern Caribbean archipelago. The peak is topped by a 0.6-mile wide summit crater, which contained a shallow crater lake until 1959. As of 2006, the crater lake had reformed. The last verified eruptions from the volcano were about 1,800 years ago, while reports of possible eruptions in 1692 and 1843 are considered uncertain. Mount Liamuga was formerly named Mount Misery. The renaming took place on the date of St. Kitts' independence, September 19, 1983. However, many older citizens still refer to it as Mount Misery. The name Liamuga is derived from the Kilinago, named for the entire island of St. Kitts, which means fertile land. The mountainsides are covered in farmland and small villages up to the 1,500-foot height, after which lush tropical rainforests drape the slopes until cloud forests take over at 3,000 feet. Many tours and guided hikes are organized to the peak summit and surrounding rainforests, usually starting from Beltmont Estates in the village of St. Paul's. From the summit, the views are outstanding, including the entire island and beautiful Caribbean Sea, as well as the neighboring islands of Saba, Sacia, St. Barts, St. Martin, Antigua, and Nevis. And let's see if we have any views. So we're going to go here. And we might, or we might not. I can see we have one over here, so we'll go here. So I'm going to turn around. We'll look back that way, but we can't see anything from that way. I was hoping for a sea shot. Okay, so that one there. So we're going to back out again. And we'll go over here. Sometimes I get some that are close and sometimes I don't. Okay, can't see through the building, but it would be back in this way. Back over here. Sorry, guys. And moving on to the next one. Southeast Range. And it's a cloudy day here today. So we can see it's right in here. So I'm going to come in close and do this. This is the Southeast Range over here. It's this stratovolcano. The Southeast Range in central St. Kitts is a young volcano with a partially preserved summit crater, less than 1 million years old. Dodley's Level and Monkey Hill lava domes lie on the flanks of the volcano. You can see his radio tower over here. So we're going to see if we have any views on this one. And we have one here, so we'll go here first. And we have the inside of a building. Okay, well that didn't work. We'll go over on this side. Look at that ocean out there. Okay. And should have known there'd be a house here. All right, well, nothing else. We got a beautiful view of the ocean. And moving on to the next one. The Quill. The Quill is a stratovolcano. The Quill is large, dominantly andesitic stratovolcano that forms the southeast end of the St. Eustatius or Statia Island. The 601-meter-high volcano was formed about 32,000 to 22,000 years ago by rhyolitic eruptions on the shallow water limestone bank 3 kilometers offshore of an older 0.2 million year old volcanic center exposed at the northwest end of the island. The interaction of rhyolitic magma with seawater produced pyroclastic surge deposits, rich in limestone fragments that joined the two islands and blanketed the entire slopes of the Quill. The surges also swept across older island and incorporated carbonized plant remains, shell fragments, and remains of fossil hermit crabs. A likely cryptodome tilted up limestones at Sugarloaf on the southeastern coast. A steep-sided crater, 760-mile wide and more than 300 meters deep, caps the Quill. A notch on the western rim of the crater has directed the youngest pyroclastic flow towards the island's capital, Oranjestad. And the last dated eruptions of the Quill produced pyroclastic flows about 1,600 years ago. So we're going to see if we have any views for this one. And this is also the Quill National Park. And we have plenty here, so we'll see if we can get one from inside. And we'll do one from the rim. Okay, so this is from inside. It looks like we're in a very wooded area here. So you can see up here, there's the top. Now we're going to go to the top and see if we can get one from outside. And we'll go here. And this is looking out over the island. And we're kind of on the outside of the rim here, because if you look over this way, you can see the other sides over here. But you can't really get over to it. Got tree life. And moving on to the next one, which is Northern Centers. Northern Centers is a stratovolcano. The Northern Centers volcanic complex consists of 5 adjacent volcanic centers forming the northwest end of the St. Eustace Islands. It is less than 1 million years old. And it also looks as though we have oil maybe, so we'll go see. With no view. Well, we do have one here, so we can go here. Wow. This is St. Eustace State Park here. I am curious about this. Maybe it's oil and gas. And moving on to the next one, Mount Scenery. Mount Scenery is a potentially active volcano in the Caribbean Netherlands. Its lava dome forms the summit of the Saba Island stratovolcano. At an elevation of 877 meters, it is the highest point in both the Kingdom of the Netherlands and since the dissolution of the Netherlands Antilles. On October 10, 2010, the highest point in the Netherlands proper. The Saba volcano is potentially dangerous. The last eruption was in or around 1640 and included explosions and pyroclastic flows. Check this out. Here's the Dutch Museum Saba. And let's see if we have any views here. Okay, so back out. And we have one kind of towards the top, so we'll go right here. Wow, it's cloudy up here. Check this out. Oops, not in it for people, but thanks, John. And moving on to the next one. That was kind of interesting. The Dutch Museum Saba. I wonder if there's a view down there. Hang on. No street view on that one. And moving on to Saba. Saba, the northernmost active volcano of the West Indies, is a small 5-kilometer diameter island forming the upper half of the large stratovolcano that rises 1,500 meters above the seafloor. The eruptive history is characterized by the emplacement of the lava domes and associated pyroclastic flows. The summit of the volcano, known as Mount Scenery, or the mountain, is a Holocene lava dome that overtops a major collapsed scarp that formed about 100,000 years ago. Flank domes are constructed on the southwest, southeast, east, and northeast sides of the island near the coast. The large andesitic lava flows entered the sea on the northeast flank, forming the Flat Point Peninsula, the only site level enough on which to locate the island's airport. The village of the bottom overlies pyroclastic surge deposits that contained European pottery fragments and were radiocarbon dated at 280 plus or minus 80 years before present. The village was settled in the 1640s on grassy meadows on the volcano's flank, reflecting initial vegetation recovery following destruction of the tropical rainforest by pyroclastic flows and surges. Lava dome growth may have occurred during this southwest flank eruption. So there's a town up on here. Is that cool or what? So let's see if we got a view over here at all. We don't seem to have one. So moving on to the next one. There's an airport right here. Wonder. No view. The next one is St. Bartholomew. St. Bartholomew is a volcanic island fully encircled by shallow water reefs and has an area of 8 square miles and a population of 8,823. Wow, that's a lot of people on this island. Okay, so back out a little bit. And we'll go by the sea area over here. And take a look from this side. We're on the beach. Tell me that's not gorgeous. And yes, that water is see-through. And moving on to the next one, St. Thomas and St. John's Island. Both St. Thomas and St. John's Islands are volcanic in origin, whereas St. Croix was formed by a coral reef, which explains why it is flatter. And we're going to check and see if we have any views here. We do. Let's go along the beach area. So this is St. Thomas. And now we're going to look for St. John's. St. John's is over here. And this is Virgin Islands National Park here. We're going to see if we have a view on this island. So we'll go over here. We got a water shot here. That'll be cool. Okay. St. Croix is flat because it was created by reef. I think we're on a boat, so here we go. So this is St. John's. And looking for now St. Croix. So this is, we're in the British Virgin Islands right now. This is St. John's, St. Thomas. And I'm thinking this might be St. Croix here. So moving on to the next one, Damas. Oops, sorry you guys. Damas is Nephiline basaltic pyroclastic cones near the village of Damas, east-northeast of Port-au-Prince. It represents, along the Morla to the west, the youngest volcanism in Haiti, dated about 1.5 million years ago. 3 volcanic episodes happened successively at Damas, and morphologically, the youngest cone is well preserved with an easily distinguished lava flow. So we're going to back out. Well, look, you can see this area. And we have a view over here, so we're going to go right there. I think we're at a hotel. So you can look this way. And moving on to the next one. You can see where it says Damas here. This is the town of Damas here. Morla. Morla is a pyroclastic cone. Morla is a well-preserved nephrine basaltic scoria cone in the Saint Doa area north of Port-au-Prince. It was dated at 1.5 million years ago and represents the youngest volcanism in Haiti. I don't know if there's a view here or not. We don't have one, so we're moving on to the next one. San Juan. San Juan is a pyroclastic cone. Basaltic lava flows of late Pleistocene to early Pleistocene age, up to 10 kilometers long, were erupted from scattered cinder cones in the San Juan Valley of the Western Dominican Republic. So look down here. We might be getting a good idea here. Hang on. And moving on to the next one. That is interesting. The next one is Dos Hermanos. Dos Hermanos, the Cerros Las Freles Vent, south of San Juan, La Pozos Fault, is adjacent to Dos Hermanos volcanic field, which consists of lava domes and flows of trachy andesitic composition and is of late Pleistocene to late Pliocene to Pliocene age. I think these might be for cattle. We'll see if we have any views in this area. And we don't. So we're moving on to the next one, which is Gran Banhami. Gran Banhami Volcanic Center, along with adjacent southeast volcanics, form much of the southern half of St. Vincent Island. Argon dates range from 2.5 to 1.2 million years ago. Pyroclastic cones are found along the southern tip of the island as part of the southeast volcanics and on the western flank of Gran Banhami Volcanic Center. And then we have a garden over here. So we're going to go see if we have any views in this area. I did notice a garden, but I'm not sure if there's going to be a view. And I don't see one here. Let's back out a little bit. There, we do have one right there. Anyway, the area we wanted to see, oops, it's not him. It was on the other side of this house, and I can't see that side. And moving on to the next one. Marngar. Marngar is a stratovolcano south of Sufer St. Vincent's volcano. It was also active during Pleistocene. A Argon date was done and puts it at 0.011 plus or minus 0.014 million years ago, suggests that activity may have overlapped with that of Sufer St. Vincent's volcano. It was a million or 1,000, I'm not sure. The next one was Sufer St. Vincent. This one's kind of neat, so I'll put this up here. Sufer St. Vincent is the northernmost and youngest volcano on St. Vincent's Island. The northeast rim of the 1.6-kilometer wide summit crater is cut by a crater formed in 1812. The crater itself lies on the southwest margin of a larger 2.2-kilometer wide Soma crater, which is breached widely to the southwest as a result of slope failure. Frequent explosive eruptions since about 4,300 years ago produce pyroclastic deposits of yellow tuff formation, which blanket much of the island. The first historical eruption took place in 1718. It and the 1812 eruption produced major explosions. Much of the northern end of the island was devastated by a major eruption in 1902 that coincided with the catastrophic Mont Pele eruption on Martinique. A lava dome was emplaced in the summit crater in 1971 during a strictly effusive eruption, forming an island in a lake that filled the crater prior to an eruption in 1979. The lake was then largely ejected during a series of explosive eruptions, and the dome was replaced with another. So we'll see if we have any views on this one. Don't see one on this one. We do have one down at the bottom, so maybe we can look and see the top. And this is Ottawa Salt Pond right here. So what I wanted to see was in this direction, but can't really see it very well. This is a salt pond. That's Iowa Salt Pond. But I found this amazing. Let's see if we can come down in here a little bit. Okay, so you can see inside the crater here and the island that was created in the middle. And moving on to the next one, which has no name. A series of small volcanoes was constructed at the southwest tip of Martinique about 2.1 million years ago. The group includes Rocher du Diamant, a lava dome remnant forming a small island off of the south coast of the peninsula. And that was what was given for history. And moving on to the next one, Pele. This is the crater here, and Pele here. It's renowned Montagne Pele form the northern end of the island of Martinique. It is the most active volcano of the Lesser Antilles Arc. 3 major edifice failures since the late Pleistocene, the last about 9,000 years ago, have left large horseshoe-shaped calderas breached at the southwest inside, which the modern volcano has been constructed. More than 20 major eruptions have occurred here during the past 5,000 years. Extensive pyroclastic flow deposits, incised by steep-walled ravines, mantled the slopes of the volcano. The Ayating Sec Summit crater is filled by two lava domes in place during the 1902 and 1929 eruptions. Historical eruptions date back to the 18th century. Only two modest phreatic and phreatomagmatic eruptions took place prior to 1902. The catastrophic 1902 eruption, which destroyed the city of Pierre and the pearl of Lesser Antilles, became the type example of Plinian eruption and marked the onset of modern volcanological studies of the behavior of pyroclastic flows. So that is majorly interesting. Okay, so let's see if we have any view in this area. We have one from up the top, so let's go here. And you can't really see too much, and it's very foggy. Check out these trees though. The stairs that go up. That's neat. Okay, so that was one. Let's see what the other one is. We have another one over here. Unless that's the one we were just, no, it can't be. Oh, some more stairs. That's the same one we were just at. Oops. Okay, so let's go back. We will go right here. Wow. So it shows we're at the top. Okay, and moving on to the next one. Pitons de Cabarete. And can't really see anything on this one. I did try to turn off the cloud settings, but for some reason they're not off. Pitons de Cabarete volcanic complex southeast of Montagne Pele was active during the Pliocene and Pleistocene. The early edifice was cut by a major flank collapse, leaving a breached caldera open to the west, inside which is a group of lava domes known as pitons were created. And then there's a waterfall over here. There's a view of these. And it looks like we might be able to see it. You can't go up there on the volcano, but we can go to the volcano, we can go to the waterfall. Okay, so this is the area where there's a, oops, not you, don't want to see you. Okay, here's a waterfall. So there's a waterfall, natural waterfall back here, which is neat. And moving on to the next one. Foundland Volcano. And this is a stratovolcano. Foundland Volcano at the southeast tip of Dominica is a Pliocene to Pleistocene in age. And moving on to the next one, MorneWatt Pays. MorneWatt Pays volcano complex occupies the southern tip of the island of Dominica. and has been active throughout the Holocene. An arcuate caldera that formed about 39,000 years ago as a result of major explosive eruption and flank collapse is open to the Sufer Bay on the west. The depression cuts the southwest side of MorneWatt stratovolcano and extends to the southern tip of Dominica. At least a dozen small post-caldera lava domes were emplaced within and outside this depression, including one submarine dome south of Scott's Head. The latest dated eruptions occurred from the MorneWatt lava dome about 12,070 CE. Although younger deposits have not been dated, the MorneWatt complex is the site of extensive fumarolic activity, and at least 10 swarms of small magnitude earthquakes, none associated with eruptive activity, have occurred since 1765 at MorneWatt. So let's see something. We have a view from over here. I don't know what we're going to see. Not a whole lot, but that'd be interesting to look. And moving on to the next one. MorneWatt. MorneWatt is a stratovolcano in the south of the island of Dominica. It rises to a height of 1,224 or 4,116 feet and is the third highest peak in Dominica after Morne Diablatins and Morne Pitons. A major eruption from MorneWatt produced pyroclastic flows took place about 1,300 years ago. A moderately large phreatic eruption took place at the Valley of Desolation thermal area northeast of MorneWatt in 1880, when volcanic ash fell over the 4-kilometer wide sector at the coast, 10 kilometers from the vent. A smaller phreatic eruption and most recent eruption occurred in July 1997, when ashfall was confined to the Valley of Desolation area. It had a VEI of 1. These eruptions mark the only known historical eruptions on the island of Dominica. And that is totally neat looking. I was looking at the pattern of this. This is the Valley of Desolation over here. I wonder if there's any view in this area. Yes, there is. There's not one up on the mountain, so I thought we'd go look over here. So this is the Valley of Desolation. And it looks like water runs through there. It's actually pretty. And moving on to the next one. Montreux Pitons. Pitons. Okay, it's in French, sounds like. Montreux Pitons is a volcanic complex. Two large lava dome complexes, Montreux Pitons and Microtren, rise northeast of the capital city of Rosso in central Dominica. Microtren Macaque dome lies immediately south of the larger 1,387 meter high Montreux Pitons. Smaller lakes are located in the saddle between the two domes and on eastern flank of Microtron. The domes are located along margin of large semicircular depression on the western coast of central Dominica, whose origin has been variously attributed to caldera collapse, gravity sliding, or juxtaposition of several independent volcanic centers. The area is the source of a luminous, mostly submarine, Rousseau tuff. A thick sequence of pyroclastic flows erupted between about 40,000 and 25,000 years ago. It is considered to have originated from caldera at Morne-Tres Pitons and Watton-Waven. The latter, an elliptical northeast-southwest trending caldera, maintaining microtrend at its northeast end. Explosive eruptions at Tres Pitons microtrend complex, producing pyroclastic flows, continued into the late Pleistocene and Holocene. The youngest dated eruption took place about 80 CE, but other smaller eruptions have occurred since. And let's look and see what views we have here. We have one over here, so we'll go over this area here. I'm not sure what we're going to see here. Looks like we got a shot of rocks. And moving on to the next one. Morne diablatans. This is a stratovolcano. Morne diablatans in northern Dominica is the largest and highest on Dominica and the second highest peak in the Lesser Antilles. A complex of at least 5 coalescing lava domes forms the broad summit, and other domes are found to the southeast. Pyroclastic flow deposits in place 22,000 to 40,000 years ago, known as the Grand Saban, ignimbrite, extend in 5 radial tongues around the volcano as far as the coast. Pre-Columbian block and ash flow aprons on the northwest flank are relatively unmodified by erosion. No historical eruptions are known, although numerous hot springs, both onshore and submarine, are found near Glenville on the northwest flank. Severe earthquake swarms in 1841 and 1893 originated either from Morne diablatans or Morne os de Blaise to the north. And the next one is Morne os de Blaise. And this is a lava dome. The relatively unknown Morne os de Blaise, or Devil's Peak, I thought it was de Blaise, stratovolcano forms the northern tip of the island of Dominica. Several nested craters and a 90-meter high, 335-mile wide lava dome are located within a larger 1.2 kilometer wide crater, and that was 335 meter wide. The complex overall includes 7 andesitic lava domes with central depression where a cold soufre is located. A chain of lava domes, 2 of which form a peninsula on the southwest flank, form an east-west belt across the south flank. Bathymetry shows a double-peaked lava dome known informally as Twins Peak. Off the northwest coast, truncated by 4-kilometer-long fault-bounded cliff. No eruptions are known in historical time, although the volcano has a youthful appearance and activity at flank domes likely continued into the late Pleistocene and Holocene. The youngest summit crater contains an active thermal area of bubbling springs. Severe earthquake swarms in 1841 and 1893 were associated with either Morne os de Blaise or Morne diablatans to the south. Shallow volcanic tectonic seismicity was detected as recently as February of 2010. And that's called Sufer over here. And our next one is Cabarete. Caribes. Caribes volcanic complex at the southern tip of Basse-Terre was active about 0.5 million years ago. And there's not a whole lot more information that I found on it. And our last one is Sufer Guadalupe. Sufer Guadalupe occupies the southern end of Basse-Terre, the western half of the butterfly-shaped island of Guadalupe. Construction of the Grand Découverte volcano about 0.2 million years ago was followed by caldera formation after a Plinian eruption about 0.1 million years ago, and then construction of the Carmichael volcano within the caldera. 2 episodes of edifice collapse and associated large debris avalanches formed the Carmichael and Amek craters about 11,500 and 3,100 years ago, respectively. The presently active La Sufer volcano subsequently grew within the Amek crater. The summit consists of flat-topped lava domes, and several other domes occurred on the southern flanks. Most historical eruptions have originated from the northwest-southwest trending fissure systems that cut across the summit and upper flanks. A relatively minor phreatic eruption in 1976 to 1977 caused severe economic disruption when Basse-Terre, the island's capital city, which lies immediately below the volcano, was evacuated. And let's see if we have any views of this area. I'm going to back out. We see right here, we also have Lac Flammarion. So we're going to see if we have views of either of these. We have one from up here. So we're going to go up here. And not really good view here, so we'll see if we got another one. Nope, same one. Always pays to try 3 times a charm, right? Okay. I'll go back out a little bit. Well, this one's a little clearer, so I guess this will work better. And thank you guys for watching. If you liked my video, please hit like, subscribe, and share. And that's how I grow my channel. Thank you guys, and I'll be back with a new video. Much love and have a great day.